Hello everyone, it's Steve with Aptera Owners Club. Today on Aptera's Instagram account, they had a little pop quiz, fun little pop quiz. This one was Aptera is classified as a three-wheeled car, true or false? That is false because it is not technically a car. It is an autocycle, a type of motorcycle. And then a helmet is not required to drive the Aptera. This is true, and because the Aptera is enclosed, a motorcycle license is not required in most states, and you don't need to wear a helmet. There's one or two states where that's still the case. I believe it is Alaska, but that will all likely change pretty soon. So you don't need a motorcycle license and you don't need a helmet. And then when you need to plug in, an Aptera can be charged by a 110 or 220 volt outlet, CCS or J1772 charging station, CHAdeMO DC fast charge stations, all the above. So they said all the above. Okay, this is where I think maybe their marketing department is not talking with their engineering department very well, because I think that they think that J1772 is CCS and then CHAdeMO is DC fast charging. However, CCS and CHAdeMO are both a type of DC fast charging, and J1772 is just level 2 charging. So this is how it works. This is a J1772 plug. This one is just level 2 charging. And then these are the DC fast charging options. So this is what we use in America most of the time. Europe and most of the rest of the world uses this Type 2 plug, CCS plug. Japan and the US uses J1772. China uses this port. And then in DC fast charging, this is CHAdeMO, and this was a Japanese standard, and Nissan was using it. But CCS1 is the dominant one in the US, and people aren't really making any more of these CHAdeMO stations. This has basically won the war, and in the Europe they're using this. And one of the major reasons is that CHAdeMO is capped at 50 kilowatts, whereas CCS can go up to 350 on Electrify America's network. And I think the standard can go even higher than that. It can go even higher than 350 kilowatts. So this is the front port of a Nissan Leaf, which was one of the last cars to use CHAdeMO. So they have a J177 plug here for level 2, and then they have a completely separate plug for the CHAdeMO plug right here. But even Nissan, who was one of the people that were using CHAdeMO, they've moved away from it. Their new Araya electric car uses CCS. And then if you look at every single car that's been released recently, they all use CCS. This is Lucid. You see CCS. It's a J1772 with this extra port here. So you can plug the top in here, or you can have a bigger plug that uses all of this, and that's the DC fast charging. This is Rivian's plug. Looks the same. You can just plug in J177 here, or you can plug in all of it, and it's DC fast charging. This is the Hyundai Ioniq, and so you see here, if you pull this little tab, it'll give you those two little holes that will let you DC fast charge. Here's the GMC Hummer, and here's the Ford F-150 Lightning. Yeah, so they're all using that. So I don't see any reason why Aptera would use both CCS and CHAdeMO. I'm guessing that they're using CCS. I mean, if I were to guess, that's the standard they're going with. There's no reason for them to have J177 with CCS plus a CHAdeMO port. That would just be like extra cost for no reason. No one's building these stations anymore, really. This is getting phased out in the United States, and everyone's moving to CCS. So I think this is a little bit of a mix-up. And then how many miles of charge can you get from a 110 volt outlet? You can get 150 miles overnight, which is a lot from a regular outlet. So that's the same plug that you would charge your iPhone on. That's correct. And that's just because the Aptera is so efficient. If you plugged in a Hummer EV overnight, you would get like 25 miles of range in the same amount of time. because Hummer EV has an efficiency of 1.7 miles per kilowatt hour, whereas the Aptera is a efficiency of 10 miles per kilowatt hour. So that's why the efficiency makes such a huge difference. So on a DC fast charger, the amount of miles you would get would be ridiculously fast. You know, you would get hundreds in minutes, in like 20 minutes or something. You would get hundreds of miles on an Aptera, whereas you would get probably 50, 60 miles in a Hummer EV in about 10, 15 minutes, which is still fast with a DC fast charge, but it wouldn't be like hundreds, 200 plus. All right. So tell me what you guys think about this whole CCS thing. Do you think Aptera is actually going to put both CHAdeMO and CCS? I don't think that makes any sense. It would just be extra cost and extra complexity for not much reason. Every new EV in the United States is coming with CCS, DC fast charging. I suspect that is what Aptera is going. Unless they decide to go with a Tesla plug for some reason, which would be odd, but not impossible. All right. Well, thank you so much for watching and have a great day.